What's up, everybody? How you doing? And welcome to the Focus on Greatness podcast. My name is Hiram Roche, and listen, man, I am truly excited to be able to speak with you on tonight. For all you that are watching or listening for the very first time, welcome to the Greatness Tribe. Welcome to these conversations that we have been having. I believe these conversations have been very powerful. I mean, I've been enjoying them, and I want to take the time today to kind of like dive into a conversation. So this week, um, really this weekend, I was having a conversation with somebody. And through that conversation, it got me to really start thinking about something. So it kind of brought back another conversation that I had, which we're going to dive into right now. And so, probably about a week or so ago, I was talking to a gentleman, and through our conversation, he was sharing some information or insight that he had gained through him listening to a preacher. And through that conversation, there we go. I had to adjust my mic a little bit. But through that conversation, the pastor was talking about a man by the name of David. And David, again, is a very important person, specifically when we're talking about the Bible. And he was sharing where, if he said, basically, if you take a time to kind of like look back at the story of David and look at David's fullness of his life, it's all based on timing. And so he said, using specifically a scenario where the Bible talks about how David basically being the youngest out of all his siblings. There's a battle that's happening with the children of Israel against these giants. And as they're about to go into battle, the Bible talks about that all of the children of Israel were afraid of this man by the name of Goliath. And his brothers, David's brothers, are actually on the field or out with the children of Israel or the army of Israel in this battle. Well, David gets an instructions by his father to go and take some lunch basically to his brothers. Well, the pastor said if David would have been late bringing the lunch, he would have missed the opportunity that was coming. The opportunity was that when he got there, he heard what Goliath had been saying. Then, in a nutshell, not to go too deep into the context of the scripture or the storyline, but it set him up to where he was now able to go and fight this giant of a man and be able to defeat him, which then put him in position for a combination of different things. One, to now be able to be in the king's court, as not just a worker, which he was before, but now as a son-in-law. And now he's showing his skill set as a military man. He's still a young man, but he's now showing his skill set as a military man and a leader. And you're seeing all of these impacts, which leads him to be in the posture, in the position for the future, for him then to be a king. But if you go back again to that moment, timing is everything. If he would have been late to the battle, take these off. If he would have been late to the battle, if he would have been late to the battle, then he would have missed that time. So then I was talking about this, and I shared the context with my mom, man, just how I believe the power of being important about our time. And sometimes I feel like if my thought was if we missed those moments, if we missed the time, then we probably missed the opportunity. So then the wisdom that normally that she brings and gives to me, she made a statement and she said, well, sometimes son, the context of it is that in the moment of that time, God has given unto you the strength to do the thing. So it's per se not that you couldn't do the thing later on, you just might not have the strength at that moment to be able to do it. So I took all of those contexts together and I said, I wanted to talk to us about this thing called timing. Timing is everything. Some people say that the timing of God is just as important as the will of God, which it is. So timing is everything. So I want you to think about this. And I know that this is kind of like off our beaten path of what we've been talking about lately, and I'm going to get back to that. But I wanted to make sure that I specifically dealt with this context of conversation because I want us to be able to realize the importance of time, the importance of time. And also, I want us to think about when we're thinking about the importance of time, I want us to think if timing is everything, I don't want to miss the time. I don't want to waste the time. I want to make sure that I'm taking advantage of the time, right? But then also it goes to another level. I don't want to miss the time of opportunities. So we'll still use David, right, as an example for this. David had to be on time taking his brother's lunch for him to be in the right position, having the right opportunity to be able to fight Goliath. Timing. But if David wouldn't have took advantage of the opportunities before that opportunity, he wouldn't have been ready for that one. He wouldn't have been ready to fight Goliath, where the scripture says he was able to fight a bear, he was able to fight a lion in protecting sheep because he was a shepherd. He was a shepherd protecting the sheep or taking care of the flock of his father. All of that is in the time. So all that we go through is important because everything happens at a specific time in our lives to prepare us for opportunities that we will be able to have or be able to have the opportunity for in our future, which is still dealing with our timing. So if timing is everything, I know I sound redundant and I'm about to go I'm going somewhere with this conversation and I don't want you to miss this. If timing is everything, then how do you take care of your time? What are you doing with your time? What do you do? Do you just waste your time? Are you just so busy that you don't have time to do things that develop you? Are you just running so much that you don't have time to spend time with your children or with your friends or just with yourself? Like when I think about time, that timing is everything. I was thinking about this and again looking at this weekend and I'm like timing is everything. Right now my sons are getting older and my oldest he's stepping right into that door of teenage life which is about to get interesting for me and my wife and because now he's growing up, he's learning things, he's kind of feeling more of himself in reference to recognizing some of his traits and strengths and all of those things which are all great. But while I'm looking at the age that they're my both of my sons are, I'm thinking about the time that I want to make sure that I'm spending with them, the time that I don't want to miss those small moments because there are certain things that happen in time that we can't ever get back. Like I remember my youngest when he took his first steps. If I was not there, that's a moment, that's a time, that's an opportunity that I missed that I would never get back again. His first words, I can never get that back again. There's certain things that we miss out on because of the time of when it happens. So I want you to think about this as we both have this dialogue together. I want you to think about this. If timing is everything, I want you to make sure that then you are taking advantage of your time. taking advantage of the time that you're putting in when it comes in reference to your relationships, the time that you're putting in when it comes to developing and building yourself, the time that you put in when it comes in reference to your children, the time that you put in when it comes in reference to your business, when the time that you're putting in to make sure that you are ready for the opportunities that will come in front of you. But if we don't take advantage of the time, then when the moment does come and the opportunities arise, we might not be ready. And it won't be one of those things where it's because we didn't have moments of where we were getting ready for it. No, it's not that you didn't have time to get ready for the promotion. It's not that you didn't have time to get ready for the big business opportunity that you've been waiting for. It's not that you didn't have time to get ready for the relationship. It's not that you didn't have time, is that we did not take advantage of the time that we had because we thought we felt that we had time. One of the things that sometimes I do regret. There's not a lot that I have regret about, but there's one some things that I do have regret about. And I don't want y'all judging me. So, I'm just prepping it. I don't need y'all judging me on this. But one of the things that I do have a regret about is that I did not spend enough time with my grandmother. I regret it. Every time I think about it, I regret it. My grandmother, at one point, was living in the same apartment complex that I was living in. And every now and again, I would go see her. And I was young. I was, dating and having fun and doing what I do. And I felt like I had time. I felt like I had time to get that relationship. I'll get her next time. Or I'll spend time with her this day, or I'll go over there and check on her. Da, da, da. Like I always push the time back because I felt like I had time. And then she gets sick. I believe she had a surgery, which made situations and circumstances a little bit worse. And then eventually she ends up passing away. But all of that moment, that time that I had, I didn't take advantage of it. And now, honestly, I cannot get that back. But that was an opportunity. That was a time that I had that I could have taken advantage of it, but I didn't. So timing is everything. Right now, living in Colorado and loving the beautiful weather and the up and downs of this crazy weather that we have here, loving the beautiful of the scenery, but I'm making sure that I take advantage of my time. My grandfather's here. And majority of my life, I didn't really get an opportunity to be raised around my grandfather because he was always in another state. We lived in Texas. He lived in Colorado for years. He's been here, and so now that me and my family are here, I'm making sure that I'm taking advantage of the time, putting in the time, as my uncle would say. I'm putting in the work because why? Timing is everything. Now, I might not do a lot of extra pieces and I might not say a lot of extra stuff on tonight, but I want to make sure that we don't miss these moments. Because what I do believe is that as we go through this year, that we are going to have opportunities. As we go through this year, we're going to have moments that come and situations that happen. And in those things, if we treat every time the same way we treated them before, we might miss the moment that takes us to another place, or we might miss the moment that allows us to get the healing that we wanted. We might miss the moment all because we did not take advantage of the time. Now, y- they say that this context in reference to time heals all wounds, which in some sense I believe can be true. But I believe just leaving it up to time to heal the wound is not accurate. So I'll say this, yes, time heals all wounds, but is incomplete because I believe in the time you have to take advantage of the opportunities to get the healing. So, time, we're still talking about time, taking advantage of the time. So, ask yourself this question: if you had all the time that you needed, what would you be doing? Some people feel like when I get successful, when I get all the money that I'm hoping and desiring for, then I'll be able to do X, Y, and Z. Because why? I'll have the time. I have the freedom to be able to do whatever I choose. And then I can be able to take time out with my spouse or take time out with my children or take time to do this and take time to build and take time to travel. But you don't know how long your time is. And if you're only waiting to do those things when you feel futuristically that you might have an opportunity or a time, you might be missing opportunities now to be able to enjoy the type of life that you want. Yes, money helps us to have good life. It helps to take care of the life that we have, to be able to live the way that we want. Sometimes it helps us to be able to be stressed less. Sometimes it's not all the way, but it does not do anything about your time. Time is a more expensive thing than money. If you weigh them next to each other, time is more heavier than your money because you can get more money but you cannot get more time. So timing is everything. How much time do you let go by when you're upset? How much time? Weeks, days, months, some people years. How much time have you let go by without telling them how much you care? How much time have you let go? How much time has you wasted where you could have fixed that problem and built on it? How much time have you wasted in delaying the dream that you want to have? How much time? Because time is everything. I had somebody the other day, we were talking about something and they made a statement to me and they was like, look, man, they went to this book conference and they were talking about the conference and how great it is and how good it is and all of these wonderful things. And I was so excited about the event itself and all that they were learning and gaining at the event. And then they looked at me and said, yeah, man, because I know you're a writer. And I thought to that moment, I was like, man, one, how would y'all know that? Just simply. But then I thought to myself, okay, I've been playing with these books. I got a couple that I've been going back and forth with. I've talked to people over the years about different ideas, and I have things that I'm doing, right? I have stuff that but it's like, when are you gonna do that? Because as we know, again, timing is everything. So certain information is important at the right time. Yes, there's going to come another time and another moment, another opportunity to be able to give certain information. And yes, people are at different levels in their life that they need a certain information at their specific time in their life. But timing is everything. Harm, if you keep delaying, keep procrastinating, keep not putting in the right time, then yeah, you'll probably write it and it'll probably be a good book. But if you release it at the wrong time, you might not get the same effect that you want. You might not get the same impact. So I know it might feel like I'm rambling, and I'm probably not. I'm really just having a conversation because I really feel like we are now 3 months in to the year, and I don't want us to continue the year just wasting time. I mean, I love technology. I love all that we do. And sometimes, man, that stuff can drain your time. It can take away from time. It can take away from the time that you could be building something special. It can take away from you being able to get over and deal with some things at another level. It can take some time away from you being able to look at something at another perspective or experiencing something that you've never experienced before. It can take away from the time. So I want you to do me a favor. We're both going to do this together because, again, this is something that hit me this weekend. And it's something that I thought about and has really haven't left me, and I wanted to make sure that I shared this thought with you because, again, it's on me. So I wanted to share with you, and since we're the greatness tribe and we're doing this thing together called life, I thought it'd be great to be able to share this thought process. It's timing. Yeah, I probably could have waited. Yep, could have waited a couple episodes and be like, yeah, man, I want to talk about timing now, but it might have been the wrong time. I might not have had the same insight. I might not have had the same thought process. The passion for this conversation would not have been as passionate as it is today. But I don't want us to waste time because no one ever took the time to approach you about how you're spending yours. Yes, we look at all these commercials to tell you how to spend your money. And we look at things that tell you how to be able to do your relationships. We can look at TikToks and Instagram and Facebook and every other social media app out there that's telling you how to be able to do different things. YouTube is a big how-to manual. They tell you how to do all of these things. But are you looking at how to accurately and effectively take advantage of your time? Because what I believe is in this year, we are going to have opportunities. We're going to have opportunities, and some opportunities are going to come faster than we think. But the moment that it comes, we can't rush to try to get ready. No, you should have taken advantage of the time. Take advantage of the time now. You don't have to wait. Take advantage of it now and stop allowing people and situations and things around you to waste your time. You don't have time to waste because I'm building something. I'm trying to grow here. I'm trying to develop and be something great. I cannot keep wasting my time trying to be able to please somebody that don't care about me, or trying to do something and I'm afraid of not being able to do X, Y, and Z, and I'm wasting my time. No, I cannot waste it. I cannot waste my time because timing is everything. My time is important. There are certain people, when we talk about like celebrities and people at certain levels, there are certain people they will charge you for their service, right? You might can get that same service, just say for $150 somewhere. Somebody teaching you how to, do your YouTube, or somebody teaching you how to do X, Y, and Z for your business, or giving you a course on how to have a greater marriage, or how to be able to increase your finances. Like there's certain people that will just they have a minimum in reference to their charge. But then there's certain people that they're going to charge you at a different price, not just because of the information. They're going to charge you at a different price because now every person that signs up, you're paying not for the information, but for that person's time. Because why? They've realized how important their time is. And instead of them wasting time or putting in the work on something that's not going to give them something in return for the time that they've invested, they charge you for it. And if they feel like that it's a waste of time, one, they're not going to do it because they can be putting that time in on something else. So let's examine our day. What does your last 24 hours look like? Now I get I know this is Monday and I know, it's the weekend. I get all of that. But what does your last 24 hours look like? And how much time did you waste in that 24 hours? How much time did you waste just doing stuff that don't profit you? That having gossiping conversations with people that's not going to help you to increase. Now, I get that there's times we just need to relax. That's a part of your time. Sometimes you just need to rest. Sometimes you just need to have a good old nap and just kick your feet up. That's some you have put that into your schedule of this is what my time is for. I need this. That's time. I get that. But what else did you do? How else were you productive? Did you take advantage of some of your time and just sit down and read a book? That's why every month now we're doing a book of the month. I'm not just doing a book of the month just because it's a great thing. No, because I want to make sure that we're taking advantage of our time, changing our mindset, developing our own selves. You have to put the time in to read a book. That's time. Even if you're listening to a book, that's still time. And so I'm really wanting us to make sure that we take advantage of our time and that we look at time differently. Let's change up our schedule. Let's change up our behavior and our thought process when it comes in reference to time. And I know it sounds crazy. I know it might, for some people, it might be like, man, you tripping. You just talking about time? Man, look, I got that, whatever. Nah, not really. Not really, man. If the pandemic taught any of us anything, should have taught us that we don't know about our time. We don't. If life has not taught us anything, it should teach you. Hey man, you better take advantage of your time. Because reality is, and none of us know. None of us know how much time we have. None of us. None of us know when the next opportunity is going to come. None of us. I don't care how hard you work. I don't care how much you're putting in. I don't care what how much planning you have done. You don't know when the opportunity is going to come. And sometimes you don't even know how it's going to come. I'm just saying, let's not waste our time. Let's make sure that we are taking advantage of the time we have and putting in the work. That might be again in your relationships, that might be in your own personal life, that might be in your business, that might be at your job. It could be in different categories, but you got to take advantage of your time because when the time is done, when that moment is over, when that opportunity has passed, you don't want to look and say to yourself, man, I wish I would have took advantage of my time. Just take advantage of it because we still have it. We still have time. I love you all, man. This is different. Um, in reference to this type of conversation is a little bit different. But what I'm hoping and praying is that it hit home and that it makes you look at this thing called your time a little bit different and make you rethink some things. There's been moments where, and again, I'm talking from experience, where it was like I was hearing conversations and lessons on, hey man, get your schedule together. Schedule, get your schedule, get your schedule. You need to work on your schedule. And then I kept putting it off. And then because I really didn't have a good schedule, there were certain things that I missed. There were certain things that I was not able to be as effective in. And it's not that I didn't have the time to put in the best effort and or put in, the preparation that was needed for it. No, I just didn't take advantage of the time. I just didn't take advantage of that moment. There's been times even in my marriage where in the past where it was like I let so much time go by all because I was in my feelings or all because I felt afraid to be confrontational. I'm not a person that's normally confrontational, but it was so much time that I wasted. So much time. And I wish that I would have had someone to sit me down, not over just over some social media, not just for, somebody telling you as you're passing by. No, I'm sit down and say, hey man, no, let me show you and tell you how important this thing called time is. And let me tell you how many times I've missed opportunities, all because of timing. I remember, I remember I had an opportunity to speak at for a business. I had shared something on social media when it comes in reference to business. It was an older video now, probably about a year or so ago, and I was sharing that the difference between um, uh, I believe it was like masters and slaves, and I was talking about more so like mindset, right? And I was talking about business context, how that the master or the person that is the boss in this essence, right? Their perspective of how they function is different than the person that is the worker that's now putting in the work. There is a different dynamic. And so I was sharing this different dynamic. And I was really using it for the aspect of an entrepreneur versus someone that works a 9 to 5, and how sometimes you get people that leave the 9 to 5 to try to jump into the entrepreneurship, but they still have the mindset of a 9 to 5er. And so I was really dealing with that context. And so someone had listened to it and saw it, and they thought it was a great context, and they wanted me to speak at one of their business events. At this point, I'm really kind of like real green in the podcasting and social media life, and very green. Did not have my business together. And so she sent me some information so I can schedule when I was going to come, and all of these different things. She's shooting me emails, and we were going back and forth a little bit, and I was missing and I was late on sending stuff back, and it was just bad business. But I missed that time. I missed that time, not just because we were kind of like crossing, missing each other every now and again. That's not why I missed it. I missed it because I was not prepared. And reality is, I had time to be prepared before that moment. I just kept delaying it. So then I have this opportunity that's sitting before me where now I can speak in front of other entrepreneurs. Their business was like a hub where they were talking to other entrepreneurs, which those entrepreneurs were like bosses that had teams of their own, which would have been an opportunity. It could have been a door. I missed the opportunity. I missed the opportunity all because I wasn't taking advantage of my time. And I don't want that for you. I don't want you to miss the opportunities in life. I don't want you to miss the moments in life, all because you did not take advantage of the time. The time to go over your budget, That's time. The time to look at how investments work instead of just looking at another fight video or another dance video or something like that. No, the time. Just take advantage of your time. And I promise you, you'll see how your life starts to change. I love you all. And as always, I'll see you right here next time on the Focus on Greatness. I love my greatness tribe. Talk to y'all later. Bye bye.